Well, good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? We're good. Thank you, Caleb. I see you. Tammy's got a big smile. Hey, hey, hey. Raynard, where's your smile? Come on, man. Little something, something. There we go. Hey, Adam, Christy, hello. Hello, everybody. Amy Cease is in the house. I see you. There's Anna. All right. Maria Arroyo, good to see you. Oh, you got to teach today, Jen. Yes, that is awesome. I know that feeling because I have a couple leaders that are inviting me into their observations of classes, and I got to start today in fourth grade math. And last Friday, I was in kindergarten and first grade. So I know that feeling, and it certainly helps to fill our cups, right? That we're getting to connect with our kids. So that is awesome. Yay. I love it, love it. Yes, it is good to see everybody's face. So, team, as you're coming in, I wanted to give a few extra minutes because, um, we love technology, right? That's my mantra. Y'all heard me say that Friday during logistics meeting. And so all the best laid plans are just not working out here lately. But anyway, so right there in your, see how it says Yolanda Greer under my picture here? That is where we're needing you to make the update, which will help us to move us into groups a lot quicker here in a little bit. So if you can hit those three buttons down there, and let me put it again because we had a few more people that just joined, and I'm going to move from this first slide here. But those three buttons that are next to your name or next to the mute, and then there it says to rename. So that is what I'm needing everybody to do, which will help us to move us into groups in lightning speed. Okay, so if you can help with that, that will be beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so just giving a little bit more time for a couple more folks. We're at almost 80 people, so we'll get going here because it's going to be a great check-in. Ann Ferris, you got a smile in there today? There it is. All right.
Always have smiles. I was actually just thinking, I was like, should I email Yolanda that I need to leave at 3:45 for an impromptu ILT?
You're good. You're good.
Those are my
You're
thought
good.
lists.
I got it. No, guys, I know some people have ILT emergency meetings today, and I know some of you have to leave early, so not to worry. Don't ever let what I am supporting y'all with be a stressor to you. I appreciate the communications. I know I come across a little bit hard sometimes. It's only because I love you. I'm helping you to be your best, but don't let me stress you out. The leadership development team, we're just here to help you be fabulous and amazing. Erica Smith, I see you. Hey, Maddie. Maybe I'll get to see the baby today. Hi, Jackie. Shannon, I see you. Rob, what's up? Philip, Linda. All right, Laura, Jennifer's in the house. Hey, Don. All right, you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Trying to give time. Let me put this note in the chat one more time for those of you who just came in. Please make sure that you change your name label under your picture according to those directions that we just put in the chat for you, which will help us get into our small groups quickly today. So if you guys can do that, and I have to keep putting that because it doesn't show as people join late. So that's why I keep putting it if you guys are wondering if I'm losing it or something over here. All right, so let us move forward with this. Okay. So first of all, if you're an AP or an instructional admin TOSA, you're in the right place. And if that's not you, you get the gift of time. You can go ahead and hit leave at the bottom right of your screen and go do something else incredibly impactful with your life, okay? All right, so you guys again for being here. Tune out those distractions and set your intentions to listen, to learn, and to share to increase your leadership effectiveness. And it would be remiss of me not to mention, the significant loss of Ruth Bader Gingrich this past weekend. And when we think about legacy leadership, right? So regardless of politics, this is not what this conversation is about. But, oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, my hair was a little off right there. Y'all can laugh. Come on now. John Bowie's like, Greer, come on, keep this moving. But, you know, when we think about legacy leadership and we think about the significant impact that that one individual had in the course of her lifetime and what she was able to bring forth, you know, for our nation is really significant. And again, whether you agree or disagree with those changes and what she did, the fact is that she did, right? Her living was not in vain. And when we think about her, when we think about, you know, John Lewis, when we think about some of these other greats, Aretha Franklin just popped up in my head. Like, there's all these amazing people that have had tremendous impact, right? And they've left a legacy that now creates a void for a majority of people. And so I bring that up to say, when you're thinking about your project, your impact and influence this school year, let it be so significant that if you were to move on and you go become president of the United States, or you go become a superintendent, or you go to district down the street, you know, to lead there, you decide to move to Hawaii and retire early, whatever that is, let your impact be so significant and so positive that it leaves a gap, right? That people will be devastated because you've done something that just really changed the course of our work, that really helped to propel and edify others, specifically our students, right? So think about, always keep in mind that legacy leadership and how you are living every single day and every single minute of the day with that type of mindset, that type of intention. I certainly hope of all the things that I've been able to do, one thing that I hope is said of me at my homegoing service is Yolanda cared about people. She genuinely cared about people. There's a lot of other things, but that is the one that is most important to me. And if I have not expressed that to you in some way, or you don't know that about me yet, I haven't done my job. And you need to call me out on that, because it is that one thing. Brotherhood matters more to me than anything else, and being in service to others. And that's the legacy that I'm trying to leave behind on purpose and every single day. In addition to, right, supporting others to be amazing leaders and to continue to impact student achievement and be a great mom and all those things, right? So just think about that, ponder that, and how you can enter into your project this year, into your work in that space. So again, thank you guys for being here. And I want to add this again to the chat so that if we had any latecomers, please make sure that you change your name label. Sylvia is busy helping us get into our small groups. All right. So from the chat, I had asked, and I know that you guys were doing the labels, so I don't know if we got to do that or not. I don't see any, but think about one of the questions that I had there, kind of as you're due now, but I know you're changing your name label. What is the impact that you've made thus far this school year in 2021 that you are most proud of? So I'm gonna just put 1 minute there on the 30 seconds in the chat, flood the chat, something that you're really proud of already. Big or small, doesn't matter, because it's all relative. Building relationships in a remote world, I'm trying to tell you the truth, right? Supporting parents, amazing coaching sessions, safe environment for staff and students. Yes. Yes, you guys, this is good. And just sit and like marinate in that for a minute, right? Like don't don't just go so fast, even though things around us, right? The conditions are causing us to make quick decisions and you create plans fast and turn around and execute fast. Like, take those intentional pauses to say, wow, these are some bright spots from today, from this week, from first quarter. And then just marinate in that for a minute, because that will help you, right, to refill your cup, to get re-energized, and this to have that fuel to continue to go on. So as we go through tonight, these next about 45 minutes, look through what your colleagues have put in there, because, those things can be motivating too when we see that other people are doing amazing things. But you also may see some connections, right, where someone is saying procedures for returning to hybrid learning. Who is that? Lindsay. Like, we need to connect, right? Because I know people that are not quite there yet, and we need to be making those connections and building our network so that we're in support of each other. So guys, if you see somebody that's doing something that you're like, I need some of that over there, could you be a thought partner with me? Send them a message, right? Send them an email. Do what you need to do to make sure that all of us are succeeding in that way. So thank you for that. Okay. So really quick, because I know that we have some team members that didn't get to join us in August, and we just want to make sure that you know who we are. So I'm Yolanda Greer, one of the directors of leadership development. We have an amazing leadership development team. So Sylvia Eldridge, she's assistant to the executive director of school performance. Jenny Klein is the other director of leadership development. This year we get to welcome Laura Burke, who is our principal on special assignment. And Laura has some amazing tasks that are put in front of her this year that you'll continue to learn about, but she is certainly helping us with all things leadership development. And I just wanted you to make sure that you knew our team as all of us kind of jump in to support all of you. And I want to make sure too that you know my job description. So my job is accelerate the learning of every APS student every day by getting to know the school leaders and their goals to support their professional impact for equitable practices and effective performance. My community needs me to do my job. Tulsa, I know you're laughing at me because I had to read it a little bit, but that's okay. Lisa Stucker, what's your job?
Alrighty, so my job is to accelerate the learning of every APS student every day. Probably needs a little updating, but I do my job by supporting teachers with the necessary resources and tools so that appropriate interventions are implemented and monitored for accelerated growth. My community needs me to do my job.
Whoop, whoop. Nice, nice. Jesus, what's your job? Everybody's looking for their job description.
Get better. My job is to accelerate learning for every APS student every day. I do my job by providing staff and students and families the resources and information that they need to conduct effective and engaging teaching and learning for everyone at Quest every day. More than ever, my community needs me to do my job now.
Yes, I love that. Yes, now. Leslie Hall, bring us home. One more. What's your job? Uh-oh, did I lose Leslie?
I'm here, sorry. I had to unmute myself. So my job is to accelerate the learning for every APS student every day. I do my job by advocating for families and students. My community needs me to do my job.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing. You guys are awesome. All right, so as a reminder, and new for some, our outcomes this year for our AP Impact and Influence project, right? We're understanding, we're continuing to gain some understanding today around our focus for the project. We're going to be, make sure that we're aware of those timelines and our meeting dates, begin to network. We're going to get to do that today and collaborate with each other for supportive environment. And most importantly, we are going to ensure that our students are well and that they leave next level ready by the end of this school year. So that is what we are going to do over the course of this year. And just really quick, you guys will remember, most of you, that we are aligning our work to one, instructional leadership, to your school's UIP and 90-day plans, and then APs. I'm showing you here that quality standard 3, elements A through D, is where this really sits in well. So when you're having those fall connection meetings, well, you're beyond that, but when you're in those evaluation meetings, make sure you're sharing this information to your leader, also to your LCD. And instructional TOSAs, we have pointed that out for you on your rubric, which is quality standard 2, also elements A through D.
Yolanda, may I interrupt?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Is there something that you're presenting? I don't see it on my screen. So I just wanted to see if it was.
Ooh. Well, you know what? I appreciate you so much. Thank you for telling me that.
Oh, thank you.
And then hold on, because when I did that, it shifted everything for me. 1 second. All right, I will find you guys back in just a minute. So for your consideration, and then we're going to have a special guest, and then we're going to jump into something else. But I wanted you all to see, as you are thinking about this year. Sorry, this is really weird. When I shared it, you guys went away, but I know you're there. Okay. There you are. Okay. So just for your consideration in your planning and to really inform your thinking, I know you know this. I'm just naming it for you because sometimes in the craziness of everything, right, we can lose sight of who we're really serving. Because there's so many logistics and technical dynamics right now, right? And so being adaptive is so important, and yet we can't forget that we are serving these amazing students. And something that I have found interesting as I've been doing some classroom observations and supporting our principals, you know, is sometimes there's a huge pause, and we're waiting instead of leading. And so the other night I asked my high school senior, I said, hey, Jay, did they change or move or adjust the graduation requirements for you at all? And I already knew the answer. I just wanted to see if he's keeping up. And he said, Mom, no, I don't think so. Let me go look. So he went away and he goes and looks, and, you know, absolutely not. And I talked to our college and career folks, and they said, nope, those graduation requirements are not being shifted or minimized in any way because of COVID. Okay. Does everyone have that same understanding? It's not just me? Okay, all right, Andrew gave me a yes, okay. And then we still get to ensure that our kiddos are getting grade level content standards every single day, right? So just because of COVID, no one has changed or adjusted our standards for our kiddos per grade level every single day, so we have to keep that in mind. And so it is quintessential important. Yes, they have changed, but not for the year. You are right. And so it is quintessential important that you all's presence, your leadership, that you maximize what you are doing every single day. I can't reiterate that enough. There has to be a level of urgency. Thus, the time is now. It's always now, right? Because we are on the kids' clock. We're on their schedules, on their calendar. And so we have to be super intentional, mindful, yet intentional about the work that we are doing for them to ensure that they genuinely are getting what they need to not just be status quo, but to really be educated, equipped, and empowered to go to that next grade, to go enter into college, or to go begin that career that they are desiring to do, right? And so just make sure that while you're managing and finding harmony in all of this, right, that you keep in mind that we're on their time clock and their adjustments for them haven't changed. So we have to keep pushing forward. Absolutely use it, and use it. So there we go. So with that, if you need to, we're gonna skip this because we just started. I'm trying to move fast, and you can stretch during the breakouts here in a minute. But if you need to, you know, do what you got to do. turn off your camera if you need to just stretch or do jumping jacks or blink or what have you, but just make sure you're doing those things throughout, please. So with that, I owe this person, I think, like some kind of big dinner or something, because this is what Yolanda did. So I had this brilliant idea. I think it was Friday night or Saturday morning. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to stop talking. I got all these amazing people I get to work with in this group right here, and we need to start hearing from each other more. So I happen to have the person's cell phone number. I sent a text. I'm like, how much do you love me? Could you come on and share your reflection about your project last year and how it went for you? What kind of ignited your fire? This person had 3 focus areas, demonstrated growth in the best way that we were able to, gather data at the end of the year and really stay focused. And I just appreciate it during her reflection for the end of the year, in spite of the chaos and how we were all thrown a little monkey wrench there at the end. Her presentation, that reflection just really resonated with me and I thought was great. So I'm like, all right, Lauren Hauser, I need you to come on Monday and just talk to us. And I said, don't prepare anything because it's the weekend and I'm the one that's late. And of course, you know how y'all do, all of you all are overachievers. And so Lauren is going to share with us kind of her process for last year, some of those outcomes and how she's taken those considerations from last year to help inform this year. And hopefully it will help kind of solidify any areas that some of you may be stuck. And then after that, we are going to get to collaborate. So Lauren, please take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for that intro. Again, my name is Lauren Hauser. I'm one of the APs over at Vista Peak Prep. And yeah, I'm just going to do my best to kind of walk you through my thought process and reflections in regards to my project from last year. Slide, please. So I did align my presentation with those guiding questions that Yolanda sent me. So the first one was like, what were your initial thoughts? And my initial thought was literally, where do I start? I can tend to overwhelm myself with these types of projects because I just think about all the different options and opportunities that I have to support kids, and then I end up super overwhelmed. So I think just throughout, I really tried to channel my inner RBG and just take it one step at a time. Because as she says, real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. So go ahead, next slide. Just started with 2 very big questions, right? What are our greatest needs as a school, just in general? So consulting our SPF, our UIP, a 90-day plan. And then given that in my current sphere of influence, where can I have the most impact? And when I was able to answer those questions, I was really able to shift into that structural tension thinking and establishing, what is our vision? What is the current reality? And then what are some concrete action steps that are going to take us from current reality to vision? There we go. And so what triggered target goals? So I'm not going to walk through all of this data. You guys can kind of take a look at it. But in essence, looking at our SAT scores, we were showing a trend of an increasing gap between our multilingual learners and their peers, namely around evidence-based reading and writing. And then coupled with that, looking at our access data over the last couple of years, it was not trending in a direction that would indicate that our kids were growing in their language proficiency at the rate that they really should be. So that was kind of in general what started sparking my considerations for goals. And that data is hard to look at, right? Like you sit there and you think about like, oh, my teachers are working so hard and they care about our kids, but I really just had to pause and just say, we can do better and we can be better for our kids. And this data does not reflect our vision and mission as a school, nor what I stand for as a leader. And so that kind of led to establishing this overarching concrete goal around achievement on the SAT. But I knew I wanted to move beyond that and create some supporting goals that I knew, if we can really dig into these supporting goals, we'll see the impact on the SAT and the achievement there. So yes, I will share that. And so you'll see the way I structured this, you'll see kind of my supporting goals and then kind of what the result of those goals were at the end of the year. So first supporting goal was around building my own capacity, right? So how can I strengthen my knowledge around language development and just best practices in supporting MLLs? So I did sign up for the language and concept development for school leaders, which if they bring that up again, I would highly recommend it, as it does have a specific leader lens. And then because of that class, I was able to attend the EL Achieve Symposium. And kind of between those two opportunities, I felt like I was really able to build that foundational knowledge that I needed to feel confident in collaborating with our ELD team and just our campus in general around CLDE work. And then secondary supporting goal was around PD. So in the past, VPP has had kind of a one-size-fits-all model around professional development that I even experienced as a teacher, and I knew that was something that I wanted to shift in order to meet our teachers where they were at. So in working with our consultants, we were able to build differentiated PD sessions for our staff. So on our 2 PD days, we offered 3 different sessions that staff could actually choose from, and we did receive really positive feedback around that shift in structure. Next slide, please. And then third supporting goal was building systems and structures to better support and progress monitor our newcomers. So this is my 9th year at Vista, which is really crazy to think about. But over the course of those 9 years, our population has changed a lot, but our systems and structures have not. And so I knew that that was another thing that I really wanted us to focus on, and making sure that we were setting up intentional systems that would set our newcomers up for success as they entered Vista Peak. So we have an advisory structure at VPP. So we actually created a newcomer advisory group, which was great. But as we got that off the ground, we realized, you know, we really need a more formal structure to progress monitor how our kiddos are doing. And so in working with our consultants, we developed what we call the Newcomer Accountability Group, which consists of myself, our consultants, our TLs, a counselor, dean, family and community liaison, and then we pull in the APS Welcome Center and CCS coordinator as needed. But we meet once a month and engage in a protocol that allows us to look at each of our newcomer students and dig into their academic status, their behavior, their attendance, and really develop concrete next steps for each individual student to make sure that we're doing everything on our end to set them up for success and support them as they navigate VPP. And then the last supporting goal was just around a shift in culture, right? So it is so heartbreaking to me when I hear kids say, oh, well, I'm in ELD, I'm in the dumb class, right? So how can we shift our culture at VPP to not just embrace multilingualism, but celebrate it and have kids feel empowered by it? And so first step with that was thinking about how do we provide our MLLs access to our most rigorous classes? And super excited to say that we are offering an AP Lang ELD course. So, you know, kids will be ready to take the AP test at the end of the year, but they still are receiving that necessary support in terms of their language development. Next slide, please. So what caused you to focus on your growth as well as that of staff? Do I have any High School Musical fans out here? Maybe. So we really are all in this together, right? So we know that this work is cannot be done in isolation, right? It's not sustainable and it's not scalable. And so that's really the mentality I took into this project, was that this was going to be a collective effort and my goals really needed to reflect that. Next slide. So with that, it has to start with me, right? And again, building my own capacity, because I'm a really strong believer in the fact that you can't lead what you don't know. So I always have to start there. And then with that, if I'm going to set super high expectations for my teachers and supporting our kids, I need to make sure that I'm offering them the learning and the support that they need to get there. And I think just overall, if we want to establish a culture where complacency is non-existent, right, then it has to start with me modeling that commitment to continuous growth and learning. You know, if I can walk the talk and talk the walk, and hopefully that will inspire others around me to do the same. Greatest challenge. So, man, the spring was tough, right, for everyone. I think for me and for us, in terms of our multilingual learners, we were so focused on supporting these kids that were just like kind of on the edge of falling off the map. And when we started having those physical gaps, we noticed those academic barriers starting to pop up. So not being able to do the home visits, not having that constant communication with kids on a daily basis and having them in front of us, we did have kids start to disengage. And so that was truly a challenge towards the end of the year. And as we move into this year, and Yolanda kind of touched on it a little bit, my focus is really going to be around how do we close those content and skill gaps from the spring while ensuring that kids are still getting access to grade level standards on a daily basis from this year. And so as an admin team, I really anticipate us needing to support our teachers in how do we interleave or bring back those previous standards in context of grade level standards, right? So that we're not teaching them in isolation and kids are falling further behind. So that's kind of my thinking as of now for that. Next slide, please. What did I learn about me? So this is gonna sound ultra cheesy, but it really did become more than just a project, right? It really elevated for me a passion that I didn't really know was there. Like I've always been passionate about access, right? And providing kids access. But I found through this project that I am super passionate about providing those systems and structures for our multilingual learners. And I didn't really know that that was there before. So that was really cool. And then kind of coupled with that, I talked about how it was hard to look at some of this data. And initially when I saw it, I was kind of like, maybe I'll do something else. And then this process really forced me to ask myself, Hauser, like, why are you trying to like shift away from this work? And it made me reflect on the fact that it was coming from a place of fear, right? And this project really pushed me to move beyond that fear and just buckle down and be like, this is the work, right? Like it is go time. And so despite the fear, pushing beyond that, just sitting in that discomfort, that was actually really helpful. And then thirdly, as always, right, like I am surrounded by absolutely amazing people. And I just need to continue to expand that network and continue to lean on people around me and ask for help when needed, despite the fact that that can sometimes be difficult. And as kind of a byproduct, I noticed that in going through this process, the feedback that I was giving my teachers was much stronger, right? Because I was engaging in the process myself. So when I was giving teachers feedback around their SLOs or, you know, their professional growth plans, I felt like that feedback was stronger and more informed. And the last one here is going to be a growth area for me this year. I noticed that I had a hard time pausing to celebrate the small wins when I felt like the big one hadn't yet been achieved. And so that's a growth area for me this year and something I'm going to work on. What am I most proud of? Man, staff, right? Like our staff is leaning in and I'm so proud of them. Our TLCC data showed a 9% increase supporting the statement, English language learners are adequately supported in this school. Now last year me would comment on where I want us to go, but this year me is gonna just own that and love that we have that growth and just celebrate that. I mentioned that last year our newcomer accountability committee was facilitated by myself and our consultants, and this year our TLs have stepped up and completely taken over, and it's been super exciting to watch them lead that work. Just a side little anecdote, we were actually able to, as a result of one of our meetings, re-engage a student who had extended interrupted schooling, who basically said he wanted to drop out because he was just so overwhelmed. We were able to re-engage him. He's set goals for himself. He's starting to attend class now. And so, you know, that's a result of that structure, which is just so exciting. We have 27 kids in AP ELD, which is awesome. And I think just more than anything, what I'm really excited about and proud of is, even though I know we have a ton of work to do because we did get our access scores back and we have work to do, but I'm really confident that we have the right people in the right places to dig in, which is what I'm like super excited about. Okay, and then last but not least, so Yolanda asked me to give you guys some advice and I wanted to do something fun. So A, who doesn't love watching Napoleon Dynamite dance on a slide? But B, I created my advice in the form of a pointers playlist. So each of my, pieces of advice or points comes with a few aligned songs or soundtracks. So the first is don't do it alone, right? We know that we can't, it's not sustainable, it's not scalable, right? So we have some unifying songs there. And then this is my mantra for the year: persevere and push past fear. I think in our current state, Jesus Take the Wheel is probably the #1 song in that category. And then lastly, celebrate the wins, right? As leaders, we are so passionate about the work, right? And I think it's so often easy for us to think about all the things that haven't yet been done, and let those overshadow the things that have been done, right? Even if they're small. And so taking the time to just celebrate the wins. And that's it. That's all I got. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope that in some way, shape, or form, this was helpful or inspiring in some way. If you guys ever need anything from me, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will pass it back to Yolanda.
Lauren, thank you so much. And especially again, because that was Friday night, Saturday at 4 in the morning. I don't know, that I asked you to do that. So thank you. I appreciate that. So guys, hopefully that gave you some a little bit of clarification. If you have questions, put it in the chat there. And like Lauren said, she's available to you. And I know that all of us can be here to support each other. So thank you, Lauren. That was really nice. And I love the pointers playlist. So thank you. Well done. Okay, team. So in these next few minutes, I want you to take this question into the small group. We're not going to take time right now to do it because we're going to huddle up. Football season, I'm trying. So here we go. So we're going to huddle up in these small groups. And if you don't get automatically pushed to a group, just stay right here and I'll get you there. So not to worry if you didn't get your name changed correctly or what have you. When you get there, facilitator, timekeeper, and a reporter, really fast, make that happen. Somebody just own it. And we have just under 20 minutes because I need you to come back for like 2 minutes, but I'll give you that little warning that will suck you guys back up over here into the whole group meeting. And so what you're going to do, and you should have received in Google Classroom, bless you, John, in Google Classroom, you should have received the slide deck, and I know Laura put it in the chat here too. You're gonna want to access that, pull that up, so that you can have these 2 protocols when you get over to your small group. Okay, so you will get to choose, you as an individual will get to choose if you are working it out. Here's a protocol that you can, follow for that. And this is just, you're thinking about doing this. This is what your leader, your LT is saying for your UIP 90-day plans and where you kind of fit in your lane. You're just working it out, and maybe they're going to point out some things or ask some clarifying questions to help you to solidify your focus. Or you're almost there. I'm ready to submit today, Yolanda. So I'm almost there, but I just want to run this by my colleagues, make sure I haven't, missed anything, what have you. And you could use that protocol right there. Okay, so there's 2 for you to choose from. Sherry, are you raising? Oh, you're taking a picture. I'm like, okay, are you raising your hand? I got you. Okay. Nope, that's not what we want. Oh, that's it. Okay, so let me hit the lovely little button that sends you guys away. Make sure there's no questions over there in the chat before I do that. Okay, let's get you going and go help each other. Be awesome. One Aurora. And I know how to do this. 1 second. I've only done it 100 times and now it's gone. Oh, Sylvia's doing it. Thanks, Sylvia. That's so funny. Oh, CJ, what, your high school, yes? Is he
So
on that?
everybody should be in their rooms.
Oh, okay. I see CJ on the screen right here. Okay, cool. So Sylvia, when I clicked on the more button
Mhm.
today, it doesn't show me breakout rooms.
That's because you're the co-host and not the host.
Oh, I thought co-hosts could do breakout rooms too.
Mm-mm.
So I can't skip around back and forth?
No, ma'am. I can jump you around. I can send you to different rooms.
Okay, I'm ready.
Then you'd have to tell me, message me and say, hey, send me to another room.
Oh, okay. I can send a message just to you.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll send you right now.
Okay. Y'all are a tough crowd today. Can I, you can laugh at me even, but do something. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help. Thank you, Carrie, for a little smile right there. We have to create fun in the midst of all the cray, right? So, okay, guys. So hopefully that was a little bit help. Carla, I see that look. I know what that look means. So hopefully that was helpful. I heard some great questions and conversations were happening. And I would love if a couple of reporters just unmute and share some of those main takeaways, or if there were some questions that you guys weren't able to resolve that I can definitely support with.
Hi, Yolanda. This is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi. So one of our big takeaways that we realized all three of us had missed, and we got this from the presentation beforehand, that we had really missed is one of our action steps, increasing our own learning through PD. So having the presentation beforehand and then like sharing out with each other, we realized that that was definitely a place we needed to add an action step into.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
This is Allie.
Hi, Allie.
We worked through, and I don't know that we came up with great answers yet, but we worked through the problem of building capacity in people who are within the building, and just how we structure that and how we get them to be able to take on more responsibility with that slow release process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard a lot about the gradual release, right, and building that capacity for others. So that's huge, especially in this context. Who else? Two more. Come on, leaders. Don't be shy.
This is Carla. We had a lot of conversation just around what's too granular and what's too large as far as setting goals. That tracking piece of it, especially since the data we have right now is all in a remote setting. So we don't know exactly how reliable that is to set goals. So just lots of conversations about how do we narrow and how do we keep large and how do we track without overwhelming teachers with the tracking of the data. So I don't know if we necessarily got our questions answered, but just a lot of collaboration and kind of brainstorming about which direction we can go in.
Mm-hmm. And Carla, thank you for naming that, because that's definitely been in conversation the last couple of days. And guys, tell me, when is the next interim, the next check-in in iReady? Do we know?
You're talking about the DDI day, or are you talking about the interim?
The actual interim for students. It's okay if we don't know off the top, but it will just be interesting if you use that data, right, to see what it comes out with if you're testing them once they're on their hybrid day.
Yeah, both the interim and the iReady, those are all in December.
Oh, December. Okay, thank you all. Okay, yep. So that will be, I mean, it will be interesting, right? So we'll see. And can I hear from ESS team? And I'm so glad that our ESS admin TOSAs are joining us. Okay.
I can chime in, I guess. We talked a little bit about we talked about maybe possibly talking about transitions, and Laura helped us out by talking about a little bit what her project looked like, and we were talking about how to collect that data and what pieces of evidence really to bring into the project.
Mm-hmm. And that will be a fun discovery this year, you know, as well. So I'm not coming to you all with this is what it has to be, right? As the professionals, you guys are going to get to choose what makes sense based on this context that we are operating in this year. So, you know, like last year, do the very best with what you have, what comes in, determining how reliable, right, it is. And that can be a whole nother scary road to venture down. So just that mindfulness, but just know that, you know, we're here to help answer questions. Hopefully you met some new people in your community today that maybe you haven't really gotten to have deep conversations with, and I just hope that you'll continue to maintain that level of collaboration across. So don't just wait for these meetings, because it will be just like today. Quick check-in, some collaboration time, little bit of, you know, some leadership skills or development or mindset, and then we'll get you on your way. So just as a reminder, you all have that extension due to the UIP extension, so you don't have to turn in that blue section of your document, which is in the materials of our Google Classroom. Turn that in next Monday if you're not complete yet, because I believe UIPs are going in tomorrow. So make sure that you're lining it to that. So we want to bring that coherence about. And then we'll get together again. October 23rd will be our next time. And at that time, you will move on to that purple section of yours. So just kind of your first quarter reflection and any refinement that you need to do at that point. Laura, really quick, jump on here. Let all the people see you.
Guys, sorry, most of you might have just seen my daughter. I was trying to get her on a meeting. It's multitasking fun time here. But I just wanted to remind you guys that I'm available to support you however you need. Lots of folks are reaching out to think through their project with me, talk about maybe different potential options that they have, or just which way to go, which direction to go with things. So I'm happy to support you. My email is there in the slide deck, and I'm LM Burke, because there's another Laura Burke in the district, and that's not me. So please feel free to reach out for anything. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Laura. Okay. And so just to leave you with these final thoughts here. So in life, you get what you put in. When you make a positive impact in someone else's life, you also make a positive impact in your own life. So I really appreciate Lauren's framing around not only supporting others, but making sure that she was developing others. And it sounded like that resonated well with many of you. So that is a beautiful thing. Thank you for joining today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what you are doing, how you are showing up. You are bearing the weight, not only for yourself and your own families, but for your school staff and students and families. And I don't know what else to say or do, but just to simply say thank you. You are seen and you are appreciated and you're doing the work. And we love on you, and the best way we can do that is to make ourselves available. So if you need something, don't hesitate to send an email. And I'm getting caught up, so I owe a couple of you some responses, and I'll get that handled soon. but keep doing what you're doing. Be awesome. If you want to hang out and watch this little 2-minute impact video, it is a good one to use with staff as well. So if not, have a great rest of your day. Can you hear it?
That's great. I was gonna say there's no sound.
Okay, really quick. I know how to fix it now.